Before Burkhard Heim's holistic picture of the world can lead us to the biggest of all man's questions, namely, what happens after death, we have to look at death's little brother, sleep. That's going to happen in this video. Hello and welcome to 6 Dimensions in Color. My name is Hannes Schmidt, and on this channel I present to you the worldview of Burkhard Heim in understandable language and with clear examples. Heim's model of reality is unique, not only in its language, but also in its scope and in its difficulty to access. This playlist aims specifically at presenting Burkhard Heim's main thoughts in understandable language and in English language especially. Sleep is a peculiar state of unconsciousness which is, paradoxically, very healthy. Burkhard Heim was especially interested in the connection between sleep, the dying process, and mediumistic phenomena. In the last video we explored his overall concept of the psyche, which comprised both an internal system of control syntroklines and an external system of telecore syntroklines. This gives us a better view of the overall life process. And as, at least for humans, 1/3 of this life process happens in this state of unconscious, it has to have some significance and a place in Heim's overall model. Think of it, many other species sleep much more than humans do. Think of cats, for example. All known species, no matter how insignificant, even true for singular cells, all known species have a circadian cycle with phases of wakefulness and of rest or sleep in higher organisms. Throughout our day, we go through different phases of wakefulness, of concentration, of fatigue, and eventually we get tired and lose consciousness. During sleep, our brain, our tissues, our body regenerates and we wake up refreshed. Modern science has much more empirical knowledge about these things as Heim did at his time, especially between the connection of sleep and memory. So now let's use Heim's model and describe what we see when we look at sleep. According to Heim, the body is coupled to the psyche with the so-called syntroklines, or activity streams in general. This is a very stable coupling, though it is not static. How does this coupling come about at all? The prerequisite is a high degree of similarity between the physical matrix and the foot point, the so-called synthropode, of the syntrokline. Essentially, they need to be compatible. But if something changes, then this coupling may weaken. It may even fall beneath the threshold. That means the activity stream ceases and consciousness is lost, at least about this one input or reaction channel. There can be two possible causes for this. The first is hard physical fatigue. Due to cellular wear, the setup of the cell, the structure, that is the intellectual setup, varies slightly into a direction which makes it less compatible with the docking point of the syntrokline. The second is the circadian cycle, which is simply programmed into the whole organism and which is mainly governed by daylight and darkness. So one way or the other, sometimes the psyche needs to take a break from the body. We also want to look at the two major types of sleep through Burkhard Heim's view. During deep sleep, our consciousness is essentially gone. The body is relaxed and the syntroklines are largely detached from the body. Waking up from this state is difficult and slow because you have to reattach everything, so to speak. It's different during REM sleep, rapid eye movement phase. That's when we dream. We have some degree of conscious experience ranging from vague impressions to lucidity. We have experience of being active, and measurements here show that the same brain regions are active for example, walking, as they are during wakefulness. But the impulses don't reach the body. The body is paralyzed. And good so, otherwise we would act out what we dream about in our real life, in our bed. In Heim's model, this means there are no downward syntroklines, or at least they do not bridge all the totalities. Waking from REM sleep is relatively easy because we are kind of already halfway there. But when syntroklines are detached, or at least partially detached, that is the state that interested Heim, because he said, in principle, they can dock to something else. He saw this as a prerequisite for psychic perceptions, for mediumistic perceptions. He was specifically interested in the topic of prophetic dreams, where a syntrokline would kind of dock onto a potential future scenario and perceive something and integrate that into the dream symbolism. The reason why he was interested was that his wife occasionally had these experiences. A syntrokline docking somewhere means there has to be a similarity. It doesn't matter where that is, be that in the future, in the past, or at any other place. In 6 dimensions, in the transrealm of the world where all this happens, the only measure for closeness is degree of similarity. It doesn't matter how many meters or kilometers or light years there are in between. Even with this kind of faraway topic, Heim tried to calculate the number of possible types of impressions by calculating the combinatorics of the number and type of syntroklines involved. It is amazing how much of reality, of the human experience at all, Heim was able to integrate into his model. And even as science advances, and has advanced since, his core thoughts still fit very well. If you're deeper interested in the topic of sleep, by the way, I recommend that you read Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, professor for neuroscience and psychology at the University of Berkeley. In the next video, I'm going to cover the topic of memory and also how it is connected to sleep. If you haven't subscribed to this channel so far, don't forget to do so now, enable notifications, and I wish you a pleasant night with sweet dreams in 6 dimensions and in color.